Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and today is day number 180 of 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. And I have one of my dear friends from Las Vegas, Sonya Ruffin. And she is today's service hero. And we're going to do something new with the Service Hero show. I've been changing it up a bit lately, and we're going to do that in a few moments. But I am going to actually brag about this woman for a moment in time. That's my right. When I met Sonya because she became a volunteer. She immediately was like, "What do you need? I'm here." She's in Vegas. Remember, I made that point. Wink, wink. If you guys remember, not long ago, I did a telethon in Vegas for my nonprofit, Chemo Buddies for Life. And Sonya immediately was like, "What do you need? I'm here for you." I actually had met her kind of through someone else a couple of times, but we really didn't get a chance to talk at all. But she was right there for me. And that literally meant the world to me because it was at a moment in time when I really needed some boots on the ground. I needed some people to help me because I was basically camping out in Vegas. And then all of a sudden things changed, and Sonya was one of those people that forever in a day, I will forever, ever, ever be grateful that she has that giving type of service hero heart. So welcome, Sonya. I'm so thrilled to have you on.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Well, you came to me through a mutual friend, another service hero that I had met. I'd actually met her in Vegas a few trips before. Then she came out to California when we had the Spirit Summit. And within that, we got to highlight, we had our first Service Hero Summit. And you actually came as her guest. And I got to talk to you for a moment, but not much.
Yes.
Really at all. It's kind of like, "Hello, how are you?" And then, and then it was that kind of a thing too at a lunch for a few moments. But then after that, you just were like, "Whatever you need." And then you and I got on the phone, and that's when I really had an opportunity to get to know you, right?
Right. And of everything you do.
Well, thank you. I can't even tell you what that meant to me, because that was I'll never forget that morning. I had a huge, I work with huge sheets of paper because I have so much going on so much at a time that I'm very visual. I graph things out, and I actually had 2 of those out, and I was thinking, this is what I need to pull this off. How is it going to happen? And right around that time, I don't remember how it even worked out, but it was like, okay, you were there on the phone and we started talking. You're like, "Okay, let's boil it down. What do you need? How do you, and you really just even helped me to start getting my mind wrapped around, kind of like calming down, like, okay, we can do this. If I have to stop somewhere, I'll do it, right?
Right.
I want to thank you for that. Because, as we start this, I usually kind of end with this, but we're going to change up the format a bit in a moment. So you're going to see what we're going to be doing. It's going to be fun. But, there's so many people in this world that have this ability, but they don't always just say, "I'm here for you," especially when you don't even really possibly know the person well, but you may like the cause, you may like the whatever it may be, but to actually say, "What do you need? Let's break it down." That is not really a hard thing to do, right?
Not in my world. It's not. It's something that I can't help myself to do because it's just the right thing at that moment, especially for people like yourself and like Anne-Marie, where you have all of this vision and all of this energy, and it's going to go in a direction And because it's so vibrant and so strong that sometimes I will see it and I'll see what it is that you are trying to accomplish. And it's easy for me to come into your mission because I'm thinking, oh, wow, think of all the people this will impact. And look at this dynamo who's going out there and doing it. And so it's my part of it. And it's kind of a built-in part, if you will, that just kind of says, oh, I can see how this can happen. Oops, sorry, my camera fell.
Not even a problem, no worries. You know, and so what I wanted to do is those people that are watching right now, and I hope jumping in here, and if please do me a favor. Oh, Sharon already did. I'm going to start saying hi to some of the people and Sharon already did #live. I'm trying to get in this habit. Sharon, thank you for helping me to remember #live now. And then if you're watching it in replay, please put #replay. We're really, many of us out there right now, we're trying to start tracking how our numbers are coming about, and this will help in many, many ways. So thank you for reminding me. Hello, Service Hero Wyatt McCain. Thank you for attending today with us. I'm so excited. And we've got Anne Marie. We're going to be talking a little bit about her in a moment. So exciting. And, you know, Sharon, I always, and forgive me guys, but you're going to get used to this because I always highlight Sharon because she is my senior ambassador, kind of my touchstone and stone to my nonprofit Chemo Buddies for Life. She is over our coalition, and she kind of helps with all the volunteers, all of the ambassadors, and she helps with me. And now she's getting to know all of our influencer friends through the Service Heroes program, and just truly what an ambassador is all about. And she lets me share that she is with me everywhere I go through streaming media, yet it's really important to know that she's not allowed outside in her own backyard because she is currently she's a chemo buddy. She's one of the patients, and so she's not allowed out right now. Yet because of Modern Miracle of digital platforms, she goes everywhere with me. And so if you hear from Sharon, you're gonna love her. Everybody loves her. Isn't she wonderful? Sonya, I mean, she's just amazing. She's everywhere with us. Okay, so where I was going with this is that if anybody here that's watching this, you know, I will talk about being the service hero, that we all have a service hero inside. And if you are inspired by someone, and you may not even know that person, maybe you know them through someone else, like Sonya knew me really through someone else, yet she saw something and she was like, I'm there. You need my help. If you don't, that's fine. I support you. However, if you need my help, tell me what you need. Don't be afraid to ask. If you feel encouraged to do it, just get out there and do it, right?
Right.
There you go. Okay, so there we go on this part. So I want to say thank you. Now let's go into the next one. We're going to do something that I haven't done yet, and I've been thinking about it, and that is I'm going to bring another person on with us because you have a project that you are doing with this person, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, let's bring her on. She is currently doing. We'll bring her on, and then we'll talk about what she's currently doing. Hello, Anne Marie.
Hello. Hey. Good morning.
Good morning. So, Sonya, why don't you, since you're the one right now that's really being highlighted, and we've got Anne Marie doing the magic that she does in her world, and she encourages others to do too. Why don't you talk about this new project that you two are going forward with?
Oh yes, absolutely. As you can see, the artist is at work there, and she is also the visionary behind this particular project. And this project is now it's a part of what we called the Family Legacy Project. And what it is at this point is we are partnering with Blind Connect of Las Vegas. And let me tell you what Blind Connect is first. Blind Connect is a service for the vision impaired to help them to live life in a as normal a fashion as possible. And they have wonderful services there. And they even have a service called Angela's House, which is a fully functioning house that shows them how to do things like, you know, dishes and cooking and things of that nature. And so it's just fantastic. I mean, you walk in there and you see them doing, and you think, okay, these people are blind. Yes, they are. And they're cooking and they're serving and they're doing things. And so saying that to say that Angela's House and Blind Connector, they're doing wonderful work over there. And our part in it, in partnering with them to do what we call the Legacy Project, which is now the Blind Connect Legacy Project, it has a few different parts to it. One is that in line with the values of the Legacy Project is allowing people to tell their story, allowing them to connect with the value of the individual and how that kind of perpetrates throughout the community. So it's how I value myself and my story, and how and what would it be like if we all valued our story in such a way that it changes the way that we treat ourselves and the way that we treat others. Mm-hmm. And so that is the value statement of the Legacy Project, is to allow people to tell their stories and connect in that way. And so what this project allows people to do is to have painting done, an original painting done by local artists who are in line with our telling of our stories. And you get this painting done at a reduced rate, at a rate that is doable for most people. And not everybody will go out and commission a painting from some artist, and nor do they feel like that's something that's within their reach. But what not Family Legacy Project, but what the Blind Connect Legacy Project does is it puts that in the reach of the average person and encourages them to get in touch with that story and realize their value. And so that is one of the arms of it, to be able to get your painting done, and it's benefiting the Blind Connect in this situation, in this circumstance. So that is the part, and Anne-Marie, chime in if I'm leaving.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you, right? You did a great job. You did a great job explaining one, like she said, literally one arm of this program, this project that we literally manifested over the last 2 months or so,
right?
Or third month of it. The Legacy Project, yes, there is that portion where we get to, it's a give back program, where, you know, we get to source people's stories and capture them, like you see me doing right here. Well, this is my version of it. Capture their portrait or whatever that is on canvas or on paper, and present that to them at a big gallery show, right? So Tamara, you are officially invited to the very big gallery show where we will present our commissioners, right? Their paintings, right? Sort of like what we do on the telethon, right? Sort of like that.
Right. I love it. Okay, just
right?
tell me, I'll put it in the calendar.
It's in October. So we're doing this over the span of 10 months. And what I'll be doing in the project, as well as other arms, is I'll be coaching classes. So the participants of Blind Connect, they'll get a chance to come in and tell their stories on canvas with me while I facilitate that class for them, and facilitate coaching self-care. And the heart of self-care, and bringing that home for individuals that are learning how to live in darkness, right? Mm-hmm. They're learning how to find the light and to speak their story in other ways where the rest of the world can see the true them, not just see the fact that they've lost their sight or they don't have sight. So it's a powerful movement. It's a powerful course that we've created that is also a community event. We're also inviting in corporate, like the firefighters, the nurses, the teachers, the doctors, to come in and practice self-care with us while we do finger painting blindfolded, right? Because we're taking away that sight. Like, it's powerful. It's powerful. We seem to think that, you know, when we have vision, everything's okay. Well, sometimes when we see too much, we miss all that's actually going on behind the scenes. And it has a lot to do with our self-care. We're missing so much going on. And that's what we're doing in the classes. And I'm just absolutely tickled and excited to even do that, you know, and, and I'm happy to share that with you guys online today.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even say how excited I am. Besides, I'm so excited because, you know, I've been here. We've been talking about this since basically, because this all kind of came around at the same time we were working on everything else, and we were talking about this and brainstorming and, you know, and kind of like, what do you think, and everything, because, you know, total disclosure, whenever you're talking about legacy projects, and Anne-Marie, you just like lit up right there. It is something huge in my book, huge, because I am only running a nonprofit for my community because I am a survivor. If you would have asked me a few years back before that, what I would have gotten involved in, it most likely would have been something having to do with genealogy, family history, you know, family stories, because that, anybody that knows what my email address is, it's a play on my name, but it's a play on two things: my old profession and my passion, and that's hunters for you, you know, being a genealogy detective. So, you know, I am, when you were saying, you know, we got this together, we got this going, and we're gonna do it, I just was like, yes, you know, because what you said was that you put the intention out there. You put the plan in place. And it's like so many people that they have goals, but do they really see it? Do they put it down on paper? And what I've been learning, and I want to talk about this because I'm brainstorming. I didn't even know we were going to go here, but, you know, why not do it live on TV or on streaming media? You know, there's a record. Is that you put it out there, and then Dr. Jay Johnson actually spent a few minutes with me. He's one of my advisors, and he spent a lot of time with us when we were going through the telethon, Anne-Marie. You know, he was bantering back and forth. We had a lot of fun with him, but he has such great ideas. And he said, Tamara, work it backwards, work your plan backwards and see it. And then every week from that, work it back. Where do you need to be by this week? Because my plan is not to be in the same place that I was on that phone call with you, Sonya, saying, you know, okay, because it was, I had to put the line out there, as we all talked about, as you and I talked about, Anne-Marie, that, you know, I got to do it before the end of the year. I won't put that first, you know, that first mark out there that I'm here, we're really here, we're doing it, right? And it wasn't perfect, but it was as perfect as we could make it, and it was great, we did it. But now to go forward, you need to, you know, then you put things into action. And I love the fact that you guys have put this into action. You had an idea of what you're doing, and then you went out there and you are making it happen. And think about the audience. And I'm spinning off in my mind, and I'm thinking, you know, when we'll go forward, I know, and we're going to talk about a few more things, but there's just so much here, and that the take-home message for all of the service heroes inside of you is, if you really believe that you can make a difference out there, these two women here are an example of how you can do it. And it was how many months ago did you say that you put this out there?
Like 2 months.
It's not that long.
Right. And now you're going to be affecting those that are sight challenged in the Las Vegas.
We're already.
So you're already, you're already affecting them.
It's absolutely insane. We actually met some of the participants that will be doing the classes with us. and they're just over the moon excited.
They are.
Then Blind Connect, she's also visually impaired as well. And when she heard the ideas that I was coming with, she just lit up. Her whole world, it lit up. She started thinking about how we could put this into play as well. And this became, before we even signed the contract, she was like, we can do this and we can do that. Oh, I love it. We have to do this, right? So we already know how powerful this program is. And we're on the ride, just watching it just evolve and affect other people too. And I just have to speak to the point where you're saying you're talking to Dr. J. I mean, I spend hours talking to Sonya. She's like one of my favorite persons. And
I love her.
She listens to me and she doesn't put me down in any way. She's like, girl, I love it. Let's do it. And she helps me make it happen. Because like she said, visionaries, we get overwhelmed with our vision.
Right.
And we do, Tamra.
Guilty as charged. At least
we love you for it.
And Sonya is like a decipher. I don't know. I mean, before the whole year, I had this whole brainstorming session going on for like 12 months. And she said, Anne-Marie, you've just been brainstorming, girl. It's okay. We've got this. Now we're going to implement it. I didn't realize what was missing, but a lot of what's missing in what we do these days with our goals is that we're missing the partner or partners in our mission. You know, and moving forward, it's beautiful because we partnered with Blind Connect and the individuals in Blind Connect. We're not just working their fundraiser and the give back program by ourselves. They're in it. So we make decisions together. It's absolutely beautiful. There's way too many arms of the project for us to really elaborate on this section. But I'm gonna tell you, if you can just imagine not having vision and knowing how to use a computer. I mean, like how when you use it. We watched Sky and Raquel yesterday, who are the president and then one of the of Blind Connect, and they were on the computer, and me and Sonya were like, "Do we need to help? No, we don't."
No, because they had it done. I mean, can you imagine if you couldn't see and you're trying to work a computer? I mean,
they did it. No, they did it in a different way than how we would do it, but they did it, and it gave us a newfound respect for allowing others the ability to find their own way. Right? That's why we absolutely love working with Blind Connect. We are seeing them find their own way, and now we're just another branch of how they do that through self-care.
Exactly.
Right? So they know how to use the computer, just like how we do right here. They know how to cook. And they know how to
take pictures.
Everything. Take pictures.
Take pictures.
They can do it.
We take for granted with our vision. We take for granted with our vision, right? They're able to do with that vision that we have. They're able to do that, and it's just complete respect and awe at the human capacity.
Absolutely.
Right. That is what we're able to bring forth with the Blind Connect Legacy Project, and we are bringing it all the way into the community. And sharing everything that we're doing, because Raquel herself is, I have to say, she's just got her license. I'm so proud of her and happy for her. She is a licensed social worker now. And she is a blind licensed social worker. And she has all the same struggles that we do. And we are tackling burnout, right? Compassionate fatigue, right? We are tackling all those things. We're talking about those high turnover rates in the field of behavioral health, mental health, drug addiction, and so forth like that. We're also tackling that with what we're doing. And you guys, we can't wait to show you what we're doing. You see me here painting. I paint and I solve leadership problems. That's what I tell Sonya all the time. I paint and I solve leadership problems. And that's what we do individually as a team and individually as a person, and showing other people how to do that by fingerprinting. Go finger.
And that's what
solving leadership problems and painting are sometimes the same activity.
But, and I can see that. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to break it down a little bit, and so people understand. I'm saying that we're going to talk about self-care, and then I also do want to, before we're done, of course, bring up the self-care addict podcast that is that you guys are going to be starting here too, that you're co-hosts, right? Now, the self-care, because this year, it seems like I'm hearing a lot of buzz about self-care, which I'm thrilled about because of my personal experience of just the last couple of weeks. I let myself get burned out. I know it. You in particular, Anne-Marie, you were saying be careful, and yes, I let it happen. Okay, so now it's just like when you're buying a new car, maybe my antennae is up a little bit more. I'm looking at the new cars and I'm seeing a lot of self-care, messages out there. And some of them are different. You've got the ones that are, okay, work on the emotional self-care, work on the physical self-care, work on the detoxing self-care, work on, these different self-cares. It's all self-care, yes, and yeah, I can see how you could become addicted to it in a very, very solid and good way, in the fact that you can start doing so much more when you are in total alignment within yourself. Your message with the finger painting, because that's a lot of what your family legacy project offers, right, is an ability to, through the finger painting. And we talked about that, Anne-Marie, when you were highlighted as a service hero. And anybody that wants to see that segment, you can either go back on this page, or now I've been loading into YouTube, and so it will be easier, I think, to start finding the different segments. So what is it in particular, your program, that you are taking out there? Is it the finger painting and more? And can you kind of give us, in your elevator, view?
My long-winded version.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go for it.
Elevator. I'm working on that, but I've admitted to myself that I'm a particular type of woman, and I'm okay with it. So I'm long-winded. Self-care and finger painting. To tell you the truth, being burnt out led me to finger painting. And I was so burnt out that I could not stand my breathing. I couldn't stand my children. I couldn't stand my husband. I couldn't stand my clients. I was an addiction counselor, and I resigned. I just got up and left everything. Nothing, had no way of paying for anything, nothing. It just, my husband was like, what are you doing? We are a 2-income household. What are you doing? And I said, I was traumatized. I didn't realize I was traumatized at the time, but now I can tell you, I was traumatized by just going through this constant flux of negativity and not having resources and not having support. And I was just so bothered, and my anxiety was so high, and I was so sad. I couldn't do anything. I picked up a paintbrush and I was irritated. I was like, no, I can't do this. No. And I said, I remember watching some videos months before of Iris Scott, and she's the very first popular finger painter. And I said, oh my God, you did that with your fingers? How in the world? I want to do that too. So the moment came when I had to find something that would give me immediate release, right? Because I couldn't focus on anything at all. And something very practical, very easy, something a baby could do. And I started finger painting like Iris Scott. And when I was done, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I created that. And what I did was I intentionally, and this is what self-care is to me. Self-care is, it's on the realm of the 8 dimensions of wellness. And that is physical, intellectual, environmental, emotional, you name it, there's 8 of them. And what I get to do is use finger painting as a vehicle to focus on one dimension at a time, which affects all the other dimensions, but one focusing, right? And I would focus on emotional wellness, and I would get the paint and get on the canvas, and I said, oh, whoa, I cannot believe I did that with my fingers. Mm-hmm. And I realized in the end that I was doing emotional wellness, which is the word motion within emotion. So you have to do an action, right? Which is the motion to get to the point, to the journey, to really understand what the lesson is from the struggle and strife that you've been through, or the experiences. So it allowed me to see the other side. Instead of suffering, I saw the other side, and I transferred my negative emotions into something positive onto canvas or paper. And then I get to tell the story, and I leave it right there on the canvas. I don't say, okay, I'm done with that. It's time to move on. I don't need to keep on regurgitating the same thing and punishing myself over and over again, causing struggle. Mm-hmm. And so I turned it into something beautiful on canvas, like what you see me doing right here. So I'm literally telling a story. I'm telling my story. I'm telling many stories. Right? And it's the simplest way of engaging life. It's so non-threatening. A baby can do it. It is so non-threatening. And I found when I've coached other people through the process that they're like, you ask questions like, am I painting my hand? I'm like, no, you're literally finger painting on canvas. Like, finger painting? Yeah, you did it when you were a kid, right? Someone were like, no. I was like, you've never finger painted in your life? And you're like, I don't like getting messy. I said, okay, where's that coming from? Right? This whole concept of I don't like getting messy. I'm like, are you that attached to your stress? And a lot of people actually say yes, because they've not allowed themselves anything different. So when we go through the process, it's just an easier way of having conversation. So I'll ask really hard questions, really intense questions, really deep questions while we're finger painting. And the world opens up to us. And that's why I can say that when I finger paint, I solve leadership problems. I generally solve individual leadership problems because every single person on the earth is a leader. We all make our own decisions. No matter who else is outside of us, we still make the decisions. We give our power to somebody. That's a leadership decision. You get to own that. And we own that while we're finger painting. I can have every conversation on this earth while finger painting. The easiest thing to do. And I wished I was able to do this while I was working for the other nonprofits that are here in Las Vegas while I was an addiction counselor. I wish. I asked them. It just didn't happen because we were all in this tornado, this storm, and it would never end. And when we seemed to have a reprieve, it was a lie. It was just big lie. And then everybody was always on edge and I was tired of it. We didn't do anything. We didn't even talk, right? And actually we talked, but we didn't talk about what really mattered, which irritated the heck out of us. So, right now I'm telling you, this is what I do. And I do it with Sonya. I'm like, Sonya, I just need you to listen. And then she listens and she's like, okay.
And
something else, right?
Right. And so I want to get back to Sonya. Sonya, since today is your service hero day, however, together, and that's why I wanted to actually bring Anne-Marie on too, because the two of you together are this amazing team, and you've decided to go forward on your podcast, go forward with the Legacy Project, and now with the Legacy Project with that is incorporating this element that to help people understand what it is, number one, possibly for the audience of those that are sight challenged, but also it can help us in closing our eyes or in having our eyes covered, like you had shared that you were going to be doing this. I actually started thinking about that and I thought, wow, on multiple different layers, we can find out what's happening inside of us, and then it can come out and we can become that much more in touch with ourselves, and also understanding those that are out there and giving us more appreciation like you were sharing. And good morning, Mikey, Service Hero Mikey, Adam, Cohen. Good to see you. I'm glad you're back from your travels. I wanted to say to you, Sonya, you are amazing. And I just wanted to even get my notes because your degree, you went to UCLA, correct? And you got a psychology degree. And so I'm thinking, this is no accident. And then you worked for an engineering firm and you were out there with you were a public information advisor, correct? So
yes.
You know how to reach out into the community. You worked in an engineering firm, and so that's a certain type of personality that you would need to work with internally to then get the external message out. Right. And that shares a lot, and that makes a lot of sense why you're so good with that, if you will, bridging for people that are, that like Anne-Marie, visionary, very, like lots of different projects, a lot going on. People like myself that have a tendency to be very 30,000 foot. Let's get it done. This is the way I see it. Now let's implement it. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. And when I used to have a team of people, it was no problem because I could pull my team together. Right. But now being in a nonprofit situation or entrepreneurial, and everything, you don't necessarily always have that team right there.
Mm-hmm.
You have what I now really truly, because I didn't get it back then, but I experienced it. Now I see it and I get it. You are one of those people that can hear what's going on and then say what to those people to then get it done. What do you do?
Well, the thing is, they're just like with the engineers. Engineers are, they're smart guys. I mean, usually guys, but they're smart people who have these bits of information and they know it all. They understand it all. And so a lot of times people expect that because I know it, that everybody else should understand what it is that I'm talking about. And not being that expert, which is the same thing with Anne Marie and with yourself. When I see that what you're trying to tell them, and I understand that communication is not just what comes out of your mouth; it what goes in the other person's ears. And so a lot of times we have to take into consideration how they hear and how they understand and how they receive and how to have their intention for a given time. And so in order to do that, you kind of have to stand on both sides of the street and see what the expert is saying and what the non-expert, the average person, is hearing. Right. And so that's where I come in, is to line it out, because I'm very logical in my thinking.
Yes,
but
you are.
Yeah. I have a creative side, so I understand the creative process, and I also understand the communications process to translate it, if you will, from the expert to the average person.
And that's a skill. That's an absolute skill. That's why I wanted to highlight it too. And because, and that's why this is so awesome that you guys are allowing us to do this today on the show, to show kind of, if you will, the behind the scenes of how things like this happen, because this is a service heroes show, and to understand the how and the why behind the here it is, the here and now, oftentimes helps people to understand, oh, wow, I get that. I can do that too, right? So there are so many different skills and so many different people in a team that need to be able to tag team and work together. And when you can do that, then anything is possible. Right. And in my message, I believe that we need to buddy together with people. We need to not do things in isolation. And so let me ask you this. Okay, so when you first met Anne Marie and then you decided to team with her, what is it? Is there any particular, thing, any particular what was it that you then said, okay, yeah, I'm jumping on this train. I'm in all the way. Let's go forward. Let's make this happen.
I'm glad that you asked that question, because I'm one of those people, and I'm who's guilty of thinking that I can do it all myself. I run a business of my own, and I have gotten used to, oh yeah, I've got this. I'll do this part. I'll do the accounting. I'll do the advertising. I'll do A to Z, and that's just how I've been functioning. And I didn't realize that it was a problem. And it's strange, because I can consult with others and tell them, oh yes, these are the things you need to do. But when it comes to my own life, I had to examine that and realize that, I needed some connection. I needed some oomph. And when I called Anne Marie, when I met her, and I was explaining her to my family, I was saying, I met this young lady, she's wonderful, and she's my motor, because her vision is my motor. Because I was kind of in I don't know if it's a rut, but a kind of like a habit trail, if you will.
Right. We can allow ourselves in those.
Yeah.
In truth, sometimes there's nothing necessarily, when you get things going where they're going down, they've got a steady path. You know, you've got everything in place. It's just kind of turn it on. It drives itself, and you can get into those places in your world. And so you had gotten into one of those, and
Right. And one of the things that is wonderful about my connection to Anne-Marie is that she gave me a gift first. And I wanted to take that gift and share it with everybody who it could touch. And we have a tendency to, we being the people that I know, the average person, I should say, myself included, have a tendency to forget about the importance of yourself.
right.
I mean, because I was taught that you think of others first, and then, you know, then, but first doesn't mean that you don't think about yourself at all. And so the gift that she gave me was that it's okay. It was permission to let myself be important. And just like you were saying, when you had your I guess issue or of whatever kind, that she was telling you to be careful. And just for me, I'm not the type of person to be that careful with myself. I can be as careful as I want with you, and I can care for you, and it's so easy to forget, you know, to put my mask on first before, you know, trying to
right.
And so she kind of brought that to my attention and brought that to my life and gave me the opportunity to play, you know, because I'm the part of the partnership that's tightly wound and regimented. That's okay to a certain extent, but what she did was she allowed that playful part of me to permission to play.
I love it.
Get messy.
I love it. Okay, so before, you know, we've got the self-care addict. We're going to bring back, I want to for you guys that are watching this, I want to just mention this again. I'm going to mention it a couple times. They have a new podcast that they're doing.
It's a vlog.
A vlog. I'm sorry, a vlog. I haven't seen how it works yet. It's
literally just like what you're doing. It's just called a vlog.
It's a vlog that's like what I'm doing, and I'm so excited to be learning more technology here soon, guys. They're going to be teaching me. So, and thank you for that. All right, and so I love what you just shared, because this was one of the take-home nuggets that I want to really emphasize from today's show and from this service heroes way of thinking, because we already have a service hero in Anne-Marie she was highlighted before, and then we've got now Sonya, who is a service hero, and you've got two service heroes that have truly service heroes heart. They are out there doing service hero activity, and you've got two people that sure they could have gone on their own and they could have done, you know, Anne-Marie and her very, very broad break, you know, big, huge energy and out there and changing the world in a variety of different ways. You've got Sonya that's got steady company going on, and, you know, yes, not necessarily taking the time to play, being very regimented in the way that handling things. There's nothing wrong with either one. However, when you find that you can connect with and that you can create a better situation for each, you're serving yourself and you're serving the other, and that 360 of service is, you know, you start really making that it's going to serve others, and it can't help but just that energy is just, it can be infectious, and that's when you know, I think of you guys, because I mean we did have time that we were at the Sterling Club together. That was fun, and you guys were doing the filming for me that day, you know, taking care of things, and then you came to you know, LA, and you went on the road trip together, and you had your your third person who is also one of our service heroes, and the three of you, got on the road and were able to meet wonderful people like Diana Wentworth and many, many others. And so here you're having adventures, and then you decide, okay, let's do this together. Let's make something happen. And it's not, in truth, people are saying, wow, that's really great. But the reason I'm doing things now by myself is I've been there and done that, and I've had a problem. I ran into this issue with having someone, do this with me, and I had that issue. But that, I'm putting it out there, guys, because of the fact that some people may be saying that right now, sitting in that chair, yet don't give up, right? It doesn't mean that if that's one experience in your life,
right,
are you going to give up on it? Say, oh, my heart was broken. I don't believe in love. I can never love again. Well, you're going to lose out on a lot of really wonderful experiences in life, right? Same thing with finding people that you feel as though you both being service heroes, both having certain skills and abilities that can be a kind of a yin and yang each other to make a true difference. That's what I'm seeing. I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are in regards to what is the magic? What is it that you both come to the table and say, I am willing to throw in with you because of, and I know that you just shared, Sonya, a lot of reasons you're playing now and such things like that. But when it comes to the business side of it, how is it that you feel as though, yeah, this is going to really work? And what kind of magic can you share? I'd love to hear from both of you, to someone that's saying, I really am ready. I'm really ready not to be doing it by myself. However, I've been burned. I'm worried. What would you share?
Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I love people, and I love people. And I feel like I'm getting loud.
I'm getting it.
You're good.
Okay. So what happened is I meet a lot of different people. I make a lot of different connections, and I allowed myself the time, the ability to immerse myself in knowing what right looks like and what wrong looks like. And because I did, and I allowed myself to fail, right? Because I didn't used to do that. I didn't used to love failing. Failure is life's teacher. It's the best teacher. And it meant that I tried. So every time I fail, I got another nugget or a couple more nuggets as to what right would look like. So I allowed Sonya to find me. I allowed myself to be open so the universe could find her and send her to me, right? And so I could find her. So I said to universe, you know what? I'm tired of resisting. I know that self-care, the opposite of self-care is resistance. And in my business, I have to be the self-care addict. I realize that I have to be the true version of me. And being the self-care addict doesn't lend me to be anything else, right? And if it comes up as resistance, it means I need to let it go, which usually means I need to paint or go talk to somebody like Sonya and put it out in the world. I said, I prayed. This is what I always tell Sonya. And it's just the same thing that happened when we got a contract for Blind Connect. It's literally saying the same prayer, but on different ends. I prayed for her. I prayed to God, and I said, God, and I said to the universe, I need, I am ready. These are my requirements. And every requirement that I asked for, there you're looking at her right there. I said, Lord, I'm ready. This whole journey has really been because I am much more closer with God. And spirituality, we're talking about spiritual wellness. This is what this is. Like, we recognized each other's energies. And when we spoke, and when I don't have regular business meetings, because Sonya will tell you, I'm very long-winded, I'll tell you again. Right? Because we met at a networking event. And I was like, oh my gosh, you look interesting. And then, she's like, I want to talk with you, Anne-Marie. Let's make a date. We met at Starbucks. And we were talking, and I said, girl, I'm just going to tell you, I just said it out loud. I didn't bother beating around the bush or anything like that. I told her exactly what was going on with me. I told her exactly what my needs were. And I listened to her. And then she didn't even bother telling me all the stuff that she did, on her list that she prepared, her 11-second speech or whatever, like elevator speech. She was doing that. She told me about her dreams. And right away, we realized that we had the same dreams on the different end. It was like, oh my gosh, I was praying for you, girl. Where you been? Welcome. So the day after we talked, I messaged her. I sent this really, really long text message. I said, listen, I don't know if you're on the same wavelength as me, but I'm telling you right now, I'm so excited. I loved our meeting yesterday. I really want to move forward with you right now as my partner, right now. And she texted me back. She's like, oh my gosh, I was feeling the same exact thing. This was like 8 o'clock in the morning. It was early. She's like, oh my gosh, I was feeling the same exact thing. Let's do it. So after that, we were on fire. We haven't stopped since. Right. In prayer, and we found each other, and we trusted. I trusted myself, and she trusted herself. And we knew that we were meant to be here. We failed enough times to recognize what right looked like, and we didn't allow ourselves to be lost in the pain of it all, right? We knew that it was going to be painful. Being an entrepreneur is painful because we're resistant beings. And we took that pain. We said, what's the lesson? Over and over, we felt it was like, this isn't what it's supposed to look like, right? She needed self-care, and I needed order.
Right. Well, I'm getting that already. But I wanted everybody else that's watching this, because I know a little bit more of the backstory, but I wanted people to really get this, because oftentimes, and I'm going to give you an answer too, Sonya, time. But oftentimes, as we are starting a New Year's, as we are taking time to, and those people that are I'm hoping some of the people watching this right now are people that are like, what is self-care all about? I'm hearing a lot about this. I want to know more. And what I'm hearing, because, maybe from the chair I'm sitting in, is I'm hearing, wow, part of this whole self-care is the miracle of you two finding each other, because in taking care of yourselves and finding that missing part, or that area that was a little more difficult, that wasn't really there, it needed to show up to make that right.
That's like social wellness. That's another dimension of the 8 dimensions of wellness, where you surround yourself deliberately with mentally healthy people and people that are ready to be on that level. That's actually called social wellness. And everything I do is in line with the 8 dimensions of wellness. So whatever I do, I'll tell you. And that's why I told you that your organization is a social wellness organization, because that's your motto. Your motto breeds social wellness, 100%. And that's why I'm honored to work with you.
Thank you. Yes. And total disclosure, that we do have an alignment between your organization and Chemo Buddies for Life, and we are going to be working on things going forward also. And so so people know that there is, but I am a nonprofit, but I am totally in support also of what your program is all about, because in vetting and in looking at what you have to offer, it is in truth completely 100% in line with where we're going with Chemo Buddies for Life. So, I'm thrilled that we are going to be doing some really great stuff going into this next year. Sonya, I wanted to give you that opportunity. Did you have something you wanted to share also?
Oh, yes. Well, I ditto so much of what Anne-Marie said in response to that question. But one of the things that comes to mind for me is that we respect and value each other. And that's what makes this work, is because what she does means a lot to me, and her mission, I took it on as my own because it matters and I can see its value. And so, and I feel that back, that I, as a person, I am valued, in relationship with her, and she understands what it is that I want to do. So we bought into each other's mission, and we've created a collective mission and vision. And so that's what makes it work. I prayed that prayer And I didn't even know what I was praying for. You know, I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know that an Anne Marie existed in this world. And so I just knew what I needed, you know, and I prayed for those elements that I needed. And at that time, she and I praying the same prayer and being drawn to each other, you know, is what makes all of this amazing and wonderful, and what gives it that energy that's going to make it do great things. And I would encourage anyone who, you know, when you're trying to make a difference, and most of us, we want to make a difference. You know, we want to make a difference with our one and only life. It's our purpose. And don't allow hurt or past experiences to stop you. I mean, hurt feels better than pain. I mean, love feels better than pain feels bad. You know, so yes, we might go through some pain, but is it worth it? Oh yeah. And is it worth doing again and again? Oh yeah. So we're gonna see it through, because our why is there, and we're not gonna let that fizzle.
No.
I love it. I love it. You know what I heard here between the two of you? I love it. Is that you've got, it was interesting too. You've got the creative artist and the one with the big vision that was very, very detailed in what it was that she was looking for. And then you've got the one that's the detailed and kind of like that person that's really, you know, like she was much more, I don't know, but I'm looking at a big vision of what I want. And so I saw so many multiple different stories, and the thing is, don't put anybody in a box. There's no one ever that should go into a box. And the good news here too is it doesn't matter if you have a complete picture of what you're looking for, or you just know you're looking and you're open, because in both cases, look at how it came together. Totally miracle. I'm thrilled that we went here and that you guys both were so open and honest to let us do that, because I believe we're going to serve others that are saying, you know, I'm exhausted. I know I can do this. I know I've got it in me, but I don't have this ability. And, you know, that possibly having someone to work with and alongside that can partner in one way or another may just be one of the answers. So thank you. You know, I wanted to pull, okay, this is fun. Okay, we got this picture. Of course, who is this?
This is Mackenzie. She's 4 years old, my little girl.
And she's adorable. I absolutely love her. We all do. She hung out with us at the telethon. She's a blast. And you created this image for the vlog from that photo, right?
I did. You know, I prayed to God. I said, Lord, you need to, well, I like to tell God what he needs to do. I said, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. And I have all this information and it needs to go somewhere in an organized fashion. And I said, okay, well, do a vlog. And I said, okay, I don't know what the pictures need to look like. So I was going through my camera and I noticed this picture of my daughter. We don't teach her how to do this, okay? She just gets up and starts taking selfies, and she's wonderful.
She was doing that when we were on air. She was over to the corner.
I just made this wonderful human being, right? Lord, thank you. And I saw this picture and I said, oh my God, I love it. This is it. I'm gonna mess with this picture, right? And I mean, I'm creative across the spectrum. Now I'm very good at painting, but I can dabble in quite a bit of anything. And Sonya gave me this that she told me about the program, and I told her what my needs were, right? Because this is how this works. You have to know what your needs are, put out in the universe, and then you get it back, right? You get your answer. And I said, Sonya, you know, I've been looking for this software, something that's not too expensive that I can mess with my pictures, right? And get layers out of it and keep that. That's the line you just call Imagine or something like that.
Yes.
I saw
What is it called? Okay, I got to write this down. What is it called?
It's Imagine, but it's spelled weird. It's
called IMA.
IMA.
Engine. So it's ENGINE, like an engine.
Like image engine.
Yeah, image engine. And the reason why this picture stood out to me is because when I say the self-care addict, I feel like other people are going, oh my God, did you just say she's an addict and say it out loud? Coming from the point of view of being an addiction counselor, I'm like, people really don't realize that we're addicted to darn near sugar and everything else, but we don't say it out loud. I decided to say it out loud. I am a self-care addict. I attract everything self-care, and I seek it out too. So I am an addict, and I will say that. So when I saw the little cute face of this little girl who happens to be mine, I felt like this is exactly where her face needs to be. The self-care addict. Yes. Oh, right. That's my girl. So it made so much sense to me. And I showed it to Sonya. She's like, oh my gosh, that's it right there.
Oh, I when I saw it too, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I knew that there had to be a really grand story to this. And so, we're gonna like wrap this up now. I could talk with you guys forever because it's just so much fun. And I'm sure everybody's, we've had a lot of people jumping in and a lot of comments. And I've been pulling them up. Thank you, everyone. Again, please put in their #live, #replay. So let's just say they want to follow you on the vlog. How do they do that? I know that you had some technical issues yesterday because that was supposed to be the launch, but the launch will still be taking place. Now, how is it that they can follow you? How can they be a part of this?
Okay, so the official launch was planned for yesterday. However, lessons were learned, and we are going to launch on Monday coming up. So we're going on every Monday at 12, and you can follow us on that day, watch on that day. We have a Facebook group called the Self-Care Addict Blog. That's where you can find us. You can also find us on WordPress, which is www.selfcareaddict.wordpress.com, and that's where our blog lives, where we write a lot of stuff, and there's links to our videos on there.
Okay, and I'm gonna put that here. So it's www, right?
Selfcareaddict. WordPress.
.wordpress.
Yep, .com.
.com.
Okay. That nice picture, that logo that you showed up. It's on there. That's where you can find us. And you know what? A huge lesson was learned from what happened on Monday. And I just wrote a blog about it, and I cannot wait to share with everybody when I'm done. There it is. You forgot the T, self-care addict. The C, I mean.
Oh, yes. Okay, let me rework that. I'm gonna have to redo it. Trash it.
Yeah,
okay.
So I literally just wrote about the lessons that I learned from the failed launch, and I'm way too excited about sharing about my failure. But it's very important that we acknowledge our failures because they definitely give us the nuggets and the golden nuggets to move forward in the future. I've never been so excited to fail in my life. I'm so happy. And I've been failing for the last 2 years, just so you know, I have not been back in the workforce since I left being an addiction counselor. So I've been failing for 2 years. So right now I'm primed and ready for my success, which we have been doing 100%, right, Sonya? Since like end of December. I mean, we were at a meeting, right? A business meeting that we forgot that we had our things to do.
Oh, yeah.
We were so excited to get into working. It's just this crazy energy. So I'm not even worried about it. Actually, I'm very ecstatic, and I'm happy that we have you as our first guest, Tamara. It's great to surround yourself with other people that have wonderful energy, because Tamara gives us energy. There are some people that literally are energy vampires, and they suck the life out of you. This is not Tamara, and this is not Sonya. We have this energy, and we share it, and we radiate, and all we do is just come up with new ideas, and we just smash things out the water. It's just like a great mastermind that we're creating. So I'm so excited.
Better than the ultimate service hero.
Right? The ultimate source. Just like you have that glow around you. She's like, oh, I love it. So it's awesome stuff with the vlog, and we are live every Monday at 12 p.m. We are no longer scheduling anything on Mondays.
Okay, well, no. Okay, so then note to self, schedule out, Mondays for you two. Because then we will be the beneficiaries. And then, okay, so so someone joins the Facebook group, will they be able to then see the live vlog in the Facebook? Okay, all right. So Guys, join the Facebook group. Go to the selfcareaddict.wordpress.com. Find out more about what it is that these two are doing. Let me just say this, that there's a lot of really cool stuff yet to come. I know what, a little bit of what kind of they're doing and going into the future, and then where we see things going. There's just so much that so many are going to be able to benefit from. And if you haven't finger painted lately, because I actually did get my paints out. I carried them all the way over to Vegas. I brought them back, and I actually said, I'm not going to put them away until I actually do something. So I did. And you know what? That's fun. That's fun. So, go out, and all you have to do is get some acrylic paints, right? It doesn't have to be expensive stuff, and you can just even do it on paper. It doesn't have to be an expensive project, but it can be extremely beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank you, Tamara.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. Thank you for jumping on, Anne-Marie, and being a part of, I'm going to take this down, being a part of honoring our dear Sonya. Because it's Sonya, you are the wind beneath you're the wind beneath the wings, and you are someone that I can't even tell you how much you were the wind beneath my wings on a morning that I really needed you. And you just said, okay, girl, fly with me. I'll fly with you. Let's make this happen. What do we need to do? And just those few moments of time just help to reground me, help me to center, and then say, okay, I got this, and go forward. And also, public, thank you to you, Anne-Marie, for everything you did for the telethon and showing up, the night before and showing up the day of, and just, doing the gift that you gave to me, the surprise gift. Thank you. And we're going to have a new show here. I'm going to be announcing it very shortly, that is going to be revolving around the buddies. And so we will be bringing you on and showcasing all of the art. And we need to get our present to Kimberly Cole's daughter, Kristen Cole. We need to get that to her in Texas. And we'll probably, before we send it off, probably have it on one more time and then get it over to her in honor of her mother and naming the coalition. So I just want to say thank you, because the bottom line, everyone that's watching this show, is that these are people, these two women here, I am highlighting as service heroes because they're doing so much for so many, and these two have actually done so much for me. And when we have the opportunity to say thank you, to have really been there in a moment in time, it's wonderful to do it. And so thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
So as we end day number 180 of 365 days of awesome, celebrate success through service, I want to say, Sonya Ruffin, you are a service hero that, as we have just shared over this period of time, that I am so honored to be able to say thank you for serving others.
My pleasure.
All right. So, and anybody that would be interested in being a part of the vlog that's going to be taking place on this coming Monday at noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, would you put a link to the comments, and so that they can then go and be a part of it? That would be spectacular. I would just absolutely appreciate it. And I agree with Sharon. Congratulations, hero Sonya.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. Find that service hero inside and go out and serve another. A small act of kindness can provide a huge difference to someone that actually may need a smile at a moment, a text to say I'm thinking of you, opening a door, and being kind to yourself. Thank you, Anne-Marie. All right, go out and make it a great day. See you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Lovelies later.